So I think I'd like you to start by telling freshers. There are many who must have gone for the SSB many times, so they know better. But there must be a lot of people who are doing this for the first time. So for them and for myself, I'd like to know, what are the parts of an SSB? What sections does it involve? How long does it last?
Okay, if you look at per se SSB, it has got 4 distinct stages. The first one being the screening stage,
Okay.
popularly known as a picture perception and discussion test.
All right.
Now, the large majority of crowd which reaches SSB, the first screening test, once they clear, they are allowed to move for the main SSB.
I see.
Now, the main SSB comprises of 3 parts: the psychological test containing 4 different tests in it.
Mm-hmm.
Then your personal interview, which contains 6 different parts in it, and the group testing, which contains 9 different parts. So in nutshell, you can say, for a very broad and a simple understanding, that it is the unconscious self, the psychological test, semi-conscious, that is your interview, and fully conscious part, which is called as the GTO. These are those different parts.
Okay, and these are stretched out over a number of days, I think, right? How long?
Yeah, it is generally divided into 5 distinct or different parts. The first one being, classically it used to be done over a duration of 5 days. First day, your documentation check. Second day, along with your picture perception and discussion, that is your screening test. And then next 4 days, including conference. Classically, it is supposed to be done on 5 different days. Currently, due to administrative reasons, the same thing is there, same test is there. However, some places it is being done in a span of 3 days also. But that is purely because of administrative reasons.
But it involves the same tasks.
Everything is same, nothing has changed. If you ask me, nothing has changed since probably 1965-66.
Right.
Procedure still remains the same.
So my next question, Colonel Tripathi, is that do candidates need to pass all 3: psychology, the interview, the GTO? Do they have to pass all 3 sections?
It is something akin to your regular examination that you have to pass overall. Now to this, just to pass overall, in SSB, you require approximately about 40% of marks. This is, just for easy understanding of everybody.
Okay, that sounds, doesn't sound all that difficult, but then that brings me to my next question. Why is selection so difficult in SSB?
Okay, for this, one small point needs to be considered. Like during our olden days, our grandfathers, grandparents, parents, they used to use a word called as sanskar, the family value system. If anybody is good and decent with his family value system, nobody on this earth can stop him from clearing SSB interview. There is nothing very technical about it. It is just a very, very plain and a simple value system. Holds this kind of a value system with him. SSB is a very, very simple thing to pass. But hota kya hai, while we are attempting out there, we have got a totally different kind of a thought process. Nahi yaar, main to aise hi karta hu. Nahi yaar, I will do it like this. And then you go fixated, forgetting that an elder or a more matured or a more experienced person is sitting in front of you. Once you realize this, you'll find that these things start becoming very easy. SSB, if you ask me in nutshell, I will put it the easiest interview system, while at the same place it can become very difficult if you are not careful in what you are speaking.
So what would your top tip or trick, like you were saying, for SSB would be? What is the main advice that you'd like to give candidates who are going to go for their SSB?
Now, one of the simplest of the advice that I always end up giving to all my students, as well as anybody who seeks an advice simply also, is that you should be answering a question in a manner it is supposed to be. Like, for example, you have to see the depth of the question. You have to understand yourself very correctly. So, for example, I ask you a question. Please make a sentence on Gandhi. The first sentence that strikes all of us is Gandhi was the father of nation.
Right.
Now, if I give you time, you might be able to come up with various kind of thought processes, various kind of different sentences. But suppose I don't give you time and you have to make it immediately. Gandhi is the father of nation, common sentence. Now, let's assume that this sentence has to become an observation or something which you have observed in your life. Gandhi, you have not observed. None of us has observed in our life. That is different. But let's make it a twistable, give a little twist to this sentence. India accepted Gandhi as its father.
Okay.
During British rule, Gandhi, as a father of nation, rescued us. Our father of nation was Mahatma Gandhi. You see, the sentence is, while it is same, the presentation is changing. Every time, if it is your original presentation, it makes a huge difference to anybody. And that is all that the SSB looks in you. Can you be a little original?
Yes.
If you can't, say for example, I'll quote another example. I show you a picture. I show the students a picture of a man, woman, holding their hands and walking in a garden. This is a picture that I am seeing you.
Right.
Now, the large majority, as per the data which is available, large majority will see this man and a woman as boyfriend and girlfriend. The most common used word is lovers. The next most common thing is father and daughter.
Right.
Till date, very few people are able to see it as two colleagues walking in a garden discussing on some project. Just because they are holding hand,
Right.
I am forgetting the mood, sense, everything, and I am just focusing on holding of hand of a male by another person, a male and a female holding hand. That makes a lot of difference. That is where originality is very much required.
Okay, so be original, and it's simple, you're saying. It's not that difficult. And
Absolutely.
the conversation we were having earlier on WhatsApp, you had also hinted that people can practice for SSB in their day-to-day lives. So that was intriguing. How can they do that?
Okay. Now there is something, whether it is interviewing officer, the psychologist or the GTO, they're just going to ask simple questions, or they're looking at you in a very simple manner. Say, for example, the psychologist is looking at how are you from inside and how do you perceive or look at others from outside.
Right.
The interviewing officer just wants to know about you. What do you do in your day-to-day life, and how do you interact with people around you? And the GTO is just sitting quietly in one corner with dark glasses, and he's just watching how do you practically pick up things.
Okay.
People are very much mesmerized with the GTOs. Ki sir, wo to dark glass laga ki he was sitting in the corner. Yes, his eye movement cannot be seen by anybody, and that is exactly what he is trying to do. He's just trying to hide his eye movements, for which he is wearing the specs. Nothing to show smartness or hero hira lal or something. Nothing of that. Now.
So he's always in dark glasses. This is very interesting.
99% yes, unless and until he wears par glasses, and unfortunately he can't wear dark glasses, then I can't say.
All right.
Now, when I say that you can practice in your day-to-day life, say for example, the interviewing officer asks, okay, on a holiday, what do you do back at home? You start sitting with your mother, you start sitting with your father, talk to them, tell the whole day story of the school, listen to mom, ask mom, कि mom, आज आपने क्या किया पूरे दिन? Dad, आपका दिन कैसा था? How was your office? What was the new thing that you learned, did, so on and so forth. This becomes a learning. So when you are sitting out there in front of the interviewing officer, your answer is flat and simple. So this is how the things can be done. That is how you practice. You see something, you see a big stone fallen, kept on the road, or a big road there is a big what you call pothole. 99% of the times we just pass across the pothole and go to wherever we are going. But what if from now onwards you stop, try to put some brick or some caution sign or something for that pothole and inform the authorities, click a picture and tell them so and so thing has happened. Why can't you help the citizens rectify the same?
So, are there any tips that you can give to people about how to impress the GTO? Is there anything in their behavior, in their dressing up, in how you talk to them? Are there any tips that you'd like to give students?
First and foremost, the most important thing is don't look into into other people. Don't interview other people. However, whether it is GTO, interviewing officer, or the psychologist, generally psychologists are not bothered. Even if you go in your track pants, doesn't make a difference. But interviewing officer is something like you're going for a marriage. You go in the same shorts and t-shirt which you wear at your home and go for your for a marriage. You will not do that.
Right.
But when you are going for your interview, you're not wearing that dark color trouser, a light color shirt, or a vice versa combination, a leather shoes. This is what any elderly person will like to see in you. Nicely combed hairs. Say women, we always keep telling women candidates, boss, you've got your hairs, it will keep coming out irrespective of the number of clips you put. Do you seriously feel that your father or an elder person will like it? If they are not going to like it, that interviewing officer or the GTO will also not like it. One very funny tip which I'll tell when it comes to GTO, the GTOs are the simplest of the creatures, very less spoken. However, they are very much impressed by immaculately worn shorts, t-shirt, or your yoga pants, or neat and clean shoes, nicely done up hairs, and it's approximately about 6.5 hours overall of the GTO test. In that 6.5 hours, if you can maintain your posture, a straight posture, a smile on your face, the GTO will fall flat for these simple things. Baki rest, whatever task you are doing, that is different. That has to be done. But overall, as a dressing sense, as expression, this is what is more better.
So you'd suggest to boys that they wear trousers and shirts, nothing very flashy, your body, no jewelry. Jeans, how about jeans?
Jeans, you see, in armed forces, jeans is a sure no thing. This is what is called practicing back at home. Stop wearing jeans, stop wearing sneakers, wear a trouser, wear a leather shoes, wear a light color shirt. Keep your hairs combed every 10-15 minutes. You slowly get into the habit of looking smart. The moment you feel yourself that you are smart, nobody on this earth can stop you from doing so.
And I would also like to ask you two questions that two of the boys who were following me, they wanted me to ask you. One of which is, what's happening about the Territorial Army notifications of 22?
You see, Territorial Army notifications are based on the vacancies. Compulsorily, they have to take out twice in a year. It takes place. Earlier, the vacancies, say for men, were 7 and women was 0 in a year. Now it has been changed. 5 vacancies go to ex-servicemen, that is the officers or JCOs, and 2 vacancies go for women. 5 vacancies have now been added to men. Now the notifications, generally they come up in the month of, say, April, May, roughly. And thereafter you apply. There is a pre-interview board, then is your written exam, then is your final SSB interview, medical and the merit list. Applicable up to the age of 42 for any professional who is working anywhere. And when I say working, most people take it otherwise, sir, मैं तो नौकरी नहीं मिला, मैं क्या करूं, इसलिए तो टीए में जाना है. Perfectly fine. But for TA, you can be as simple as a tutor back at home.
Oh, I see.
You can always say, yeah, it's as simple as being teaching tuitions to students.
So 27, 28-year-olds and older people, TA is available. Don't lose heart. Agar aapka nahi hua hai, you still have the TA option. And you can always ask Colonel Tripathi more about it if you're interested. So another question that I got, Dheeresh, was how to approach word association test and situation reaction test in SSB interview.
You see, word association test has got one simplest of the trick, that start looking at the same things in a different manner, which is slightly original to you. I give an example of Gandhi. Let's say red, or let's say if the word is red, color of blood is red. This is the most common thing that enters our head. But if I have to put it differently, I can say RBC and WBCs make blood. Blood gets pumped out inside the heart by 2 chambers and outside by 2 chambers. You see, if I start looking at the things slightly differently, it starts working. चलिए मान लीजिए कि आई एम अ बिग डोंकी, मेरे को वाकई नहीं आता, मेरी अंग्रेजी भी बहुत खराब है, आई एम फ्रॉम विलेज बैकग्राउंड, कभी इंग्लिश पढ़ा नहीं, मास्टर साहब से रोज मार खाता था. That was fine enough. Now what happens is you can simply follow the trick. Don't place the word before the start of a sentence. Place it in between, draw a blank line, place the word somewhere in the center or end, and write something on it. Now there is also one other example with respect to, say, situation reaction time. Say for example, I give you a situation. You are going to your sister's house, which is 50 kilometers away. While passing through a jungle, your tire got punctured, your cycle tire got punctured. Now people, the 99% of the people, the moment I say jungle, they perceive that it's a thick jungle, lot of wild animals, and I mean, you can't really see what is क्या बोलते हैं, I mean, you can't really see what is inside that jungle. Look at the situation, analyze it. What is your aim? You have to reach your sister's house 40 kilometers away. Now, city boy will not go on a bicycle 40 kilometers. That means you are well built. I mean, गांव के आप हैं, आपने अच्छा दूध घी खाया हुआ है. Secondly, don't assume that you are in the middle of the jungle. Why can't you be at the start of the jungle or at the end of the jungle? Thirdly, who says that the jungle itself is 40 kilometers? The jungle can be just 500 meters. And after that, you come out of the jungle on the main highway. The way you look at the situation tells your positive outlook. You people, generally we all keep hearing that people say, gentlemen, be positive, positively socho, be positive, be nice, be simple, be truthful. But looking at a jungle which has got wild animals, which I did not specify in my problem, is called as looking at anything negatively. Then aap bataiye, how will you pass? Then it is your problem, not the problem of assessor.
Right.
I ask you to pick up a plank during a GTO. You pick the plank, which is about 5 feet, approximately about 6.5, 7 kgs or more in weight. You pick it from the edge of the plank, not from the center. And then you say, sir, मैंने तो plank लगाया था, पता नहीं कैसे मैं fail हो गया. Boss, the way you picked up the plank, tomorrow you'll get your own people killed in war. So don't do that. Maybe somebody might end up asking, sir, how do we write a good story? I show you a picture of a child running on a road. There are vehicles also seen on the road. A child, frock pehan rakha hai, running on the road. And you end up writing that the child met with an accident and Ram took him to the hospital and blah, blah.
Right.
What you missed out is, in the picture, there was no accident which was shown. Why did you unnecessarily see an accident? A negative thinking. That is what I mean to say is called as positive and a negative thinking. The moment you think, नहीं यार, इसका कुछ और भी alternate हो सकता है, you'll find hundreds of alternates. Believe me.
Right. So I think out of the box thinking, मुझे लग रहा है ऐसा आपकी बातों से कि that really matters. A positive way of thinking. Thing, Colonel Tripathi, which I repeatedly hear from people, army officers basically, is be yourself. That don't try to show them you're different from what you actually are, क्योंकि वो पकड़ लेते हैं जो psychologists बैठे होते हैं. How true is that?
It is absolutely true, because you see, you are Rachna Bisht. I'm just taking your example. Please don't take it personally. I'm just taking an example. you are Rachna Bisht and you say ki, sir, I am a very well-known author. I have written, I think 7 or 8 books you have written, no? So I've written 7, 8 books. And next book that I am writing, I feel that I should be writing it something on, say, space legacy and maybe something to do with. Now, what is happening is Rachna Bisht has ended up talking too much about her, failing to realize that the other person sitting in front has got disenchanted. उसने सिर्फ इतना ही पूछा था, Rachna Bisht, do you write books? You ended up converting into a long story. जब आप long story बनाते हैं, you end up making a mistake by telling or exaggerating something which is not required.
Okay.
Then there is a problem.
I see. My
name is Dheeresh Tripathi, and I teach students about SSB. I have been into army for so. Now you see, मैं जब बोलूंगा फालतू की चीज बोलूंगा, I will end up making a mistake. That is what is called be yourself. Don't unnecessarily try to hoodwink people. Okay. My name is Dheeresh Tripathi. Full stop. इतना ही से मतलब था. उसने इससे ऊपर नहीं पूछा. जब नहीं पूछा ज्यादा तो I should not be saying.
Okay. और एक और चीज मैं आपसे पूछना चाह रही थी कर्नल त्रिपाठी के सारे आर्मी या डिफेंस फोर्सेस के डू यू हैव इट इन यू उनकी टैगलाइन होती है डू यू हैव इट इन यू डू यू हैव सो व्हाट इज दिस थिंग दैट दे आर लुकिंग फॉर क्या चीज है वो दैट पीपल नीड टू हैव इन देमसेल्व्स
इट्स अ very strange question people keep asking. It has got a very simple translation. You should have a head on top of you which can see the problem in correct light, rationalize the solution for the same. You should have a good speaking skill, a good heart to mix around with people, and at the same time a bad heart also that somebody who is wrong usko aap डांट मार सके, गाली दे सके, पीट सके. That is also required. That's a average human being. Then you should be physically and mentally both stable. I'm not saying good. मैं आपको ये नहीं बोल रहा हूँ साधु महात्मा, but mentally and physically stable. And at the same time, one or the other place, you should be a leader. Say in a class, some people are good at maths, some physics, some history, some music, some speaking, some talking. This is what is called as what do you call being a leader at one or the other moment. But if you are not a leader, if you are not a leader anywhere, then it becomes very, very difficult. Just to answer their question, those people who are service entry, who want to join SL, PCSL or SCO or AMC entry, any or ACC, any of these entries, your biggest reason for failure, they are, I mean, large number of vacancies every year, it gets wasted. The biggest reason for them is over preparedness. I'll tell them, you see, if you do such a such thing or you answer such a manner, it will be better for you. What they will do is they will end up mugging the answer, failing to realize that answer was my answer at 52 years of age, and they are just 24, 28, 30 years of age. Right. And that answer does not belong to them. So they will fail. No, it is not their answer. It is my answer.
Right. So what is your advice to them? क्या करना चाहिए उनको? They should just be themselves. जो उनको लगता है वैसा ही करना चाहिए या?
What I did was they got trained with me, say in the year 2020, and I used to tell them, बच्चे आप फिर से जाओगे, फिर फेल हो जाओगे, मत चिंता करना. You just apply whatever I said. Go there, experiment, come back home. Next time when you do go, before that, burn all your documents or all your study material on. Nothing. Just keep those odd small things in mind. You will pass. People end up passing in second or third attempt also.
Okay.
That is the time. Service entries generally second, third attempt may their clearance is higher.
So Abhinav is asking that being an ACC candidate, what do I need to do as part of my preparation? Any tips that you would like to give him?
Abhinav, I don't know whichever unit or regiment you might be, but Abhinav, one thing is there. Do not put over stress on yourself. Do not get over prepared. And one thing which I have found very useful for service candidates, don't watch other people's videos. ये सिंपल, आप अपनी पर्सनालिटी को सिखाइए, दूसरे के वीडियो देख के. You watch my video wherein I am trying to make a statement कि you should answer this question like this. It will not help you. Rather, it might damage you also.
Okay. So
You
Abhinav,
read a book, close your eyes and think.
you should do that. When since particularly we're talking about ACC and interviews, there is another query which I often get on my messages कि English में बोलना कितना जरूरी है. If someone is not very comfortable in English, अगर वो हिंदी में बोलना चाह रहे हैं तो या अंग्रेजी गलत बोलते हैं तो उससे बहुत ज़्यादा फर्क पड़ता है क्या इंटरव्यूइंग ऑफिसर के ऊपर?
I'll agree, and let me tell you honestly, gone are those days when we were into British era. We are in the year 2022, wherein
Right.
every child compulsorily is supposed to be studying English till class 12. Now, one thing which we all fail to understand is the assessor is not interested in your grammar. Grammar अच्छा होगा तो बहुत अच्छी बात है, लेकिन नहीं होगा तो it's okay. But fluency is very much required. What happens is you are most welcome to speak in Hindi, but speak like English. That is Hindi and English ka combination. If you purely speak in only, you will find it difficult to justify most of the points. Why? Too much of Hindi or Telugu or Tamil or Kannada, it goes with all languages. ऐसा नहीं है कि हिंदी के लिए special है.
Right.
The most common language that is spoken is supposed to be English, and being an officer, you are not a local officer of, say, Uttar Pradesh or Andhra Pradesh or Gujarat, Tamil Nadu. An officer of armed forces, that is the third largest armed forces of the world, Indian Army. You will be part and parcel, and you will be interacting with so many people from outside world. You cannot be speaking Hindi.
Okay. So what you basically are saying is कि आपको जैसे भी इंग्लिश आती है आप उसमें बोलिए, आपको ग्रामर के लिए कोई जज नहीं कर रहा है. But try and stay with.
Correct. And
थोड़ा
to practice spoken English की practice, it just requires about 45 days to 2 months. But English में बोलने से हमेशा advantage रहेगा.
अच्छा, ठीक है. But I guess अगर if you're very passionate about something और आप नहीं बता पा रहे हैं, so I guess it's okay to tell the interviewing.
Switch over to Hindi.
मैं बता दूँ या whatever language you're comfortable in.
Correct. I mean, Hindi is the only other language because regional languages people may not understand. So either English or Hindi. So I mean, people who are Kannada, Telugu, Tamil, I really can't help that.
Yeah. So I think we will end on that very positive note that there is no dearth of options to join the forces. So guys and girls, please go ahead. All the best to you, and thank you, Lt Tripathi. We started late, but ho gaya.
Thank you. Thank you. And anybody, any guys, I mean, any people who feel that they need a little extra, you're most welcome to call us. We don't charge money for counseling. It might be a full day counseling, no problem. If we can help you people, we will be happy to help.
I did read that on your site that आपकी counseling free है. So guys, please call him. Where can they? Col Dheeresh, are there any numbers on your page?
Yeah. The mobile numbers are there. Plus, our website is there as Cadeto India. I mean, or just by typing Dheeresh Tripathi on internet, you will find our all numbers, everything.
Wonderful. So I'm sure you're going to get a lot of calls. Thank you so much for your time. Good evening.
Sure. Thank you, Rachna. Thank you.